Hey guys, it's Dom here. I'm seated at the foothills or the steps leading into a very dramatic house, and I'm joined by my friend.
Hi, I'm Nick Shazrin. Nice to meet you.
Nick, where are we at today?
We are now at Bukit Tunku, also known as Canny Hills.
And what is unique about this episode, specifically this house?
Oh, this house has a very unique price tag.
So yeah, I think we jump straight to the point.
Sure.
We don't normally get the opportunity to sell a house with this many zeros,
A lot of
in the
zeros.
price tag. What else, Nick?
This house is a Cinderella house. We will explain it a little bit later.
Let's roll the intro. Let's imagine for a second that you're holding this check and you're about to bank in this check that is 11 million. It is your dream home, a home that is only attainable by the 1% of the society. What would you want in that house? Because this is no ordinary house. An ordinary house, say in Selangor, KL area, in the urban area, costs about 700,000 ringgit. If you want a condo that has a bit of a luxury feel with the facilities, that would be about 1 million. If you want a gated community, you want a landed house, say a semi-detached, it could be about 2 million. But this is 5 to 10 times the multiple. So obviously, it is no ordinary house. It is very special. Let's imagine, if you have this kind of a house, what would you want in it? Well, you can consider things like a finely manicured garden tended by professionals. You can have custom built fixtures in all the common areas of your house to entertain your guests in a grand dining room. You could have, say, your master bedroom with an ensuite with all the best fixtures so that you are very, very comfortably rooted. You really want to belong in that house. Now this 11 million, I have to give you some context. Although it sounds like a big number, Nick and I have done a little bit of research. A house of a similar size, say 11,000 square feet of land, costs between 14 to 15 million ringgit. This one is at 11. If it's too good to be true, then it's probably not. And that's where I was confused for a little while, because I was like, at 11 million, that's about a 4 million delta that we're talking about. That's not a small number. So we wanted to find out more. Nick and I contacted the caretaker of the house. We managed to access the house. As we were driving up, we started to see a little bit of, that exclusivity kind of feel, because again, Bukit Tunku sits on top of a hill. That is the cream of the crop when we talk about the neighborhoods in Malaysia. And not just that, when we started going into the house, we could see a white building, what I would call, it has traces of British colonial architecture. So as we approached the house, we felt fine and dandy. The house itself looks impressive from the outside. But then the story changed when we went in the house. There was a total disconnect between the outside and the inside. Outside it looks really nice, it had that feeling of a grandeur, but when you walk in, the interiors, this house, she's 20 years old, she looks really tired and in dire need of remodeling because it was plain, it wasn't well maintained, it was dark. That's when it struck us. We were like, oh, okay, so the owners have actually priced it in because they understand that the person, or rather the Prince Charming that's coming, has to do a lot of work. That's why there's the difference of 3 to 4 million ringgit. So the situation is, when Nick and I were there, the owners happened to be there and they've requested for our privacy. So we weren't privy to walk around and run around the whole house and film a lot of it. We only had a few clips and it was raining as well. So I guess I will have to manage your expectations a little bit. I want to show you the house, or the little footage that we've got of the house.
Entrance foyer, living room, dining room with high ceiling, bar area, dry kitchen, wet kitchen, Backyard. Entertainment room. Tea area. Guest room. Garage. Upper hallway. Master. Bedroom. Bedroom 1. Bedroom 2.
Now I know after watching those clips, you might feel like you've been cheesed off a little bit because this, remember, it's Bukit Tunku, it's the cream of the crop, and yet what you've just seen may not resemble that. Trust me, Nick and I felt the same. We wanted to really dig deep and find out what makes this house so unique with that price tag. So we went on a mission to run around the neighborhood. And I think what we found then justified the price of this house and its unique character. Because first and foremost, we went around a 15-minute radius. You could basically access all the hottest spots in Kuala Lumpur City. That is one. The second thing is traffic jam, of course. It's common to say, developers say that, hey, convenient, accessible. But typically, if you really look into those properties, there are only probably 1 or 2 access points into the house. I counted, and this house has 6. That's plenty to beat the traffic jam. And remember, everything is within 15 minutes. All the hottest spots you can imagine. The third thing is this extreme contrast between the green, the privacy, and the city. Like I said, everything is within 15 minutes, all the hottest spots in KL. But when you come to this house, it's wrapped by a lot of greenery, which is very rare for a house that's so close to the city, because normally when you live in the city, you would expect to have a concrete jungle and maybe little pots of plants, you would have a small garden. But this one is wrapped in greenery, and we felt very peaceful when we were there. So enough of babbling, let's take a look at what you can get within 15 minutes of the house. This house only needs that one Prince Charming to come in and sweep it off its feet to make her a Cinderella again. I know it sounds a little bit corny, but hey, I'll run with it anyway. At least Nick and I were happy to do it and to share this experience with you guys. Could it be one of you who actually might come in? We don't know. But let's play a game. Let's take a guess as to who this person might be. I think for one, the first thing is this person must have traveled well and appreciates architecture, especially Western architecture and the British cultural influence, because otherwise why would you buy it anyway? So first and foremost, I think someone who's traveled well and experienced a lot of cultures. Two, I think someone with a real eye for detail and sort of a never say die attitude. I say that because I think this is no easy feat to just come in. You can't just come in, buy the house, roll out to IKEA, come back with a lorry, unpack everything and move in. Everything is ready. It's not the case. I think you would have to decide which parts to restore. So you need to engage craftsmen to actually come in and restore, and which parts to knock down. That takes a lot of effort, and that comes from experience of flipping, I guess, or working with several properties before buying this property. You can't get this sort of experience just by buying your first few properties. That just wouldn't happen. So I would say someone who's determined to make this house their very own in the way only they know how. The third I would like to share is probably someone with a big heart. So for example, if you have a big extended family, you might want to bring them in as well, because this house sits on a plot of land that measures 11,000 square feet wide. It's currently partitioned, so you can have your private house, and next door, maybe your extended family. Let's move to the closing section. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next episode. Bye guys.